let's get into the collection, everybody, of my Vectrex. So I'm just going to show you the overlays first of what I have. First off, I have the Armor Attack overlay, as you see right there. Bedlam. Blitz, which is a football game. And this is Clean Sweep. Cosmic Chasm, or actually Cosmic Chasm, which however you want to pronounce that. Next up we have Hyper Chase. And this is Mindstormer, as I showed you earlier. Next up is Pole Position. That's right, everybody, Pole Position. And definitely a really decent arcade port for the Vectrex. Next up we have the Classic Scramble, which is another awesome arcade port for the Vectrex. Next up we have Solar Quest, Space Wars, Spike, Starhawk, and last but not least we have Web Warp, as you can see right there. Now I'm going to show you some of the box games that I have, everybody. Let's get them here. And these are complete with the manuals and overlay. And this is the box copy of Bedlam, as you can see right there. I do like how the Vectrex actually did the nice artwork / screenshots for their games. And this is the back right here, as you can see with the screenshots. I know the box itself is pretty beat up, but you really can't find a really decent copy unless you want to spend a lot of money for a boxed Vectrex game. And this is Blitz, as you can see the screenshot right there. And next up, this is Cosmic Chasm. Now, this is actually one of the very first games, ladies and gentlemen. And I know this sounds actually kind of shocking, but you can look this up. This game was ported to the arcade. This is one of the very first games to be ported from a console to the arcade. And if you guys watch Starcade, the old TV show, they used to show it a lot on G4, they featured this game quite a bit. So you gotta check this game out. Cosmic Chasm. Next up we have Rip Off, and this is actually one of my better box copied games, as it even has the wee little winky right there, so you can just hang it up if you wanted to. And this is the screenshots right there. And last but not least, everybody, this is Star Trek the Motion Picture. And this does, of course, like I said, come with the overlay instructions and everything right there. And I actually had some of the manuals I'll show you really quick, if I could get through them really fast. First off, I have Bedlam right there. See some of the instructions and all that stuff. We have Solar Quest, Cosmic Chasm once again, and this is a Hyper Chase Auto Race, Pole Position, Scramble, Solar Quest, and last but not least, Starhawk. And now, let's get into the games, everybody. I know I'm running out of time here. I'm going to try to go through these as quick as I can. First off, I do have Hyper Chase, Pole Position, Armor Attack, 3D Mindstorm. Now, I will talk, I said, once again, I'll talk about the 3D feature, or the 3D glasses that actually came with the Vectrex. Solar Quest, Spike, Starhawk, Web Wars, and I did save the best for last, everybody. And I did get this at the Classic Gaming Expo last year, and that is a Vectrex multi-card. Not to be confused with the multi-card that I sent Gamester 81. This does have every Vectrex game possible, and quite a few homebrews. So that's about it, everybody, for this. Let's get into more of the Vectrex, and I'll be right back. What you're looking at here, everybody, is the Vectrex 3D Imager. Now, the Vectrex was the first system to offer a 3D peripheral which is, you see here, the Vectrex 3D Imager, predating the Sega Master System's Sega Scope 3D by about 4 years. Now, it came out about 86, 87, as where this came out in about, I believe, 83, if I'm not mistaken. Now, also very early units had a very audible buzzing, as you know, when you turn on the Vectrex, you get that buzzing sound. It was from the built-in speaker that reacts to the graphics generated on screen. Due to the lack of shielding between the built-in CRT and the speaker wiring, it was eventually resolved in later production models. What you're looking at now, everybody, is the Vectrex Light Pen. I don't own it, I'm just showing you the image of what it looks like. And it is pretty awesome. So, as I was saying, the Light Pen allowed direct drawing and manipulation on the Vectrex screen and came packaged with ArtMaster, as you see right here, which was a drawing/doodling program. 3 other cartridges were made for use with the Light Pen. Melody Master, which was a music program that allowed you to write music and notes on the screen, and even you could even play them. And Animaction, if I'm pronouncing that right, which was another animated drawing program. But there was one unreleased but fully completed game called Mailplane, which was a flight simulation game. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that might be on one of the multi-cart homebrew cartridges. If I'm not mistaken on that, everybody, please feel free to correct me if I'm right or wrong on that one. Now, everyone would wonder how it would work, the Light Pen. Well, basically, the Light Pen sends a negative edge pulse to button 4, which was, mapped on the Vectrex controller. And when it senses a certain intensity of light, the software on the program cartridge places a crosshair on the screen or monitors the predetermined text menu selections. By aiming the Light Pen at its crosshairs, and you could draw a shape of basically whatever you wanted, as the pen moved, it crossed the rings of the bullseye, and so on and so forth. That's basically how you would draw on this. Now, how would you use it? Basically, when you look at this, you would put this in the second controller port, or the second player. And that's about it, everybody. So, if I'm not mistaken, there was an exemption for its engine analyzer if you had Sean Kelly's multi-cart, which was released from 96 to 99. But for the most part, this is a really hard item to find. Because unless you got some money and you don't mind spending it for the original, you could do that. Or you could go to recycledgamer.com, where Chuck makes these light pens himself out of dry erase markers. Now, I'm definitely going to leave the link to his site below. So if you guys want to get your hands on this, or at least get a reproduction of the light pen, you can check out Chuck's website. Let's get into the history of the Vectrex, everybody. Little by little, here we go. Now, the Vectrex is a vector display-based video game console, which, as I have discussed before, that was developed by Western Technologies and Smith Engineering, and was licensed to be distributed first by the General Consumer Electric, which is GCE, and then later on it was actually released by Milton Bradley out in England, and even at one point was released by Bandai, if I'm not mistaken, in Japan. Now, the original release of the Vectrex was back in November of 1982 at the retail price of $200, which you would think now would be about $460 by today's inflation rates. And as Milton Bradley took over the international marketing, the price dropped down from $150 to then $100, which is a bargain if you ask me. Shortly before the video game crash of 1983, and basically it exited the market in early 1984, so it really only had a lifespan of about at least, maybe less than a year, which is actually pretty amazing on how a lot of people still love this video gaming console. While most consoles today are just mainly all about the CDs and DVD-based game systems, the Vectrex was actually part of the first generation console systems to feature a boot screen, and of course, the Atari 5200 and ColecoVision also did the same. Several companies offered or included Vectrex software in their products or promotions. The liquor company, Mr. Boston, actually even gave out a limited number of customized cartridges of Clean Sweep. The box had a Mr. Boston sticker on it, and the overlay was basically the regular Clean Sweep overlay with the Mr. Boston name, logo, and copyright info running on either side of it. The game itself had custom text, and the player controlled a top hat instead of a vacuum. The Vectrex arcade system was introduced in June of 1982 at the Summer CES show and became available for purchase at $199 in October of that year. The Vectrex wasn't just your average game console. However, and even to this day, there has never been a video game system quite like it. With its built-in vector monitor and detachable control board, the Vectrex captured a sleek look and feel. There's also a side note I wanted to bring up, people, and you would be shocked if I bring this up. Now, would you believe that the Vectrex, this right here, was almost this close to being a handheld system? And you might be shocked, but it was true. Now, the Vectrex actually came close to coming back from the dead in 1988 when Smith Engineering considered resurrecting the Vectrex as a handheld unit. Milton Bradley thought the $100 plus price tag of the unit would make it unsellable, so the idea was scrapped, and which is funny because Nintendo's Game Boy was released the following year and enjoyed huge commercial success. But somehow the handheld Vectrex concept was never revealed or never revived. Go figure. So it's 2011, and today Smith Engineering has graciously condoned the non-for-profit distribution of any of the Vectrex materials, including the games, overlays, and manuals. Because of the system's uniqueness, it has inspired a loyal group of Vectrex fanatics who have churned out emulators, web pages, and even new homebrew games. Foremost among the Vectrex programmers today is John Donzilla, if I actually pronounced that correctly. Who was the first contributor to the classic console gaming was the 1996 Vectrex game Vector Vaders, and in 1999 he even produced the first 64K Vectrex game, Vecmania, which contained several different games all in one cartridge. Sean Kelly at one point sold a Vectrex multicart, a single cartridge which has pretty much the entire Vectrex library and a ton of homebrews and even really cool versions of Frogger and Galaxian, among others, making Vectrex possibly the most supported / dead console, second perhaps only to the Atari 2600. Now, Jay Smith even donated the original mini arcade 1982 handmade prototype and later the color Vectrex prototype to the Classic Gaming Expo Museum back in 1999. Just before I end this video, everybody, I do want to throw up something here that I thought was really, really awesome. I just found this randomly as I'm doing my research, so I just wanted to share this with all of you. Now, there are a few YouTubers who will do arcade cabinet conversions to a simple console, like Glocko Pop 36, for example, has done one for the Super NES. He's done one for the Genesis, and even for a Pac-Man plug-and-play. Like, he went through the whole work of actually making the cabinet, the hardwood cabinet itself, to encase the console. And you should definitely check some of his stuff out, everybody. Check out Glocko Pop 36. I will leave the videos to his stuff within the description. But I wanted to bring up is within the VectrexMuseum.com website. I'm going to read it off to you because I know some of you can't read a lot of this stuff. So I'll read this and show you some of what is on this. Now, this would be an awesome project to do if someone's actually up for something like that, if they even also have a Vectrex. So I'll read this off to you before we get out of here. Now, this was called the Minicade, as it was known back in 1982, so I'm going to read this off to you. Before the Minicade was discovered, it was rumored to exist, as several people reminded an arcade cabinet in the public areas playing Mindstorm. This could be the system they saw. There are 7 systems known to exist. 2 were found in the state of Massachusetts. The Minicade is also a tabletop arcade system that was built in 1982 by a society named ESI in the Boston area in the USA. The Minicade is interesting for the Vectrex collectors because it's built around a Vectrex system. It's like if the Vectrex system was taken back to its original roots. After all, the Vectrex was made to bring the home of the arcade, just to get it all in there, just all the excitement for it. And many thanks to the owners of Nico and Chris offering photos and the information. Now, check this out, everybody. This is the Minicade build itself, as you see right here. All right. Let me just close that for a second. and I'm going to show you some of the inner workings. Now, so a lot of this stuff here, everybody, is freaking amazing, and even has a coin door, which is really, really awesome if somebody could even do that. And here's all the inner workings and all that. Now, there's more stuff I could read off on here, but really it's, way too much to talk about. So definitely, everybody, check this out. I'm going to leave that link, like I said, within the description box. Yeah, to a few YouTubers out there who are subscribed and not subscribed to me, this is definitely one project that should be brought back to life, because this would be freaking amazing to bring this back. After a good 20, or actually 30 years, this would be an awesome project to bring back for a lot of you, arcade types who definitely want to bring this back home. And like I said, I don't know the few who even have a Vectrex that would like to do this project. But if they're up for it, I would say if you are within the area or would even mind, maybe want to take a shot at this, I would actually donate my Vectrex for this project. Yes, you heard me right. I will donate my Vectrex for this. Of course, it's my Vectrex. I would like to see it. I would throw a few dollars for this project. But if you do have a Vectrex, or, want to bring that project up, hit me up. Or if you know anybody who is willing to do it, hit them up. Let's get this ball rolling, everybody. This would be an awesome, cool, awesome little homebrew project to bring back out after a 30-year hiatus. And that's about it, everybody. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review of my Vectrex and the Vectrex in general. I will be doing some gameplay videos. Please do not hesitate to leave a comment or even PM me for a request to see one of the games in action. For some of the overlays I have, it definitely would enhance it, even though it doesn't really, but to some it does. And that's about it, everybody, and take care and have a great weekend and all that good stuff. Cheers.